Hello and welcome to the RotoWire Fantasy Soccer Show podcast, whatever. I'm talking MLS. Yes, it's the middle of summer. I'm talking Major League Soccer. Just wanted to, I was sitting around looking at some MLS stuff. I've been, dabbling in So Rare a little bit and played some recent MLS contests. So just I want to talk to the fans a little bit, and maybe there's only going to be 5 people that listen to this because the MLS contests are smaller, and yeah, I think the main you got the $15 entry, 1K to first place. So hey, maybe there's gonna be 5 people that watch this, whatever. But what they say, 10,000 10,000 minutes till you get perfection. 100,000? No, I think Malcolm Gladwell. That's a 10,000 minute rule. Let's do 10,000 minutes. So the goal here is do the 10,000 minutes, and then we're gonna be winning every contest come the World Cup. So uh, something like that. I think that's how it works. As you can see, I got the nice DraftKings hat. It will probably only be seen on this show because I don't think going to be wearing this outside of the household and, of course, RotoWire. So the slate I'm talking about, we got a 2 gamer. There is a 3 gamer, but that one is at starting at 10:30, and it's just I don't know, MLS. It's just a weird day of MLS. I think DraftKings only has a couple showdowns, and they got a 2 gamer and then the 3 gamer. I feel like they could make it more fun, maybe have a bigger payout if they just did every game. But, they're not going to do that. They're just going to stick with all the games at the same time. So that is what we're left with. So we got Toronto home against Columbus. I looked at this match, I think it was earlier today or yesterday even, and the odds were even. So it looks like there's some money coming in on Toronto. And then you have New York City FC as an away underdog, a pretty, I guess, decent size. They're at 45% win percentage, 1.66 implied goal total against 1.32 away there home for Cincinnati. So in terms of that, I think maybe Cincinnati's getting underrated a bit. I know NYC FC is higher up on the table and all that, and sure they're the better team, but I mean, you look at the numbers here. You look at what's going on with NYCFC here. They were just on the road. They just played at Philadelphia, lost that one late. They lost in the U.S. Open Cup about a week ago. Yeah, a week ago against New York Red Bulls. It hasn't been as consistent away from home, and that's just kind of how things go in MLS. Cincinnati, 2 of their last 3 have win at home, clean sheets. Last Friday, I believe it was 1-0 against Orlando City. I kind of think there's some value there in Cincinnati. While I do think maybe they're not the better team, I do think playing at home on a short week, they have 1 extra day of rest. Actually, 2 extra days of rest because it looks like New York City played on Sunday, so you got that 2 extra days of rest playing at home. I don't think that's going to the odds. I'm probably going to go with the under in that one, even though it has the higher implied goal total in this one, mainly because it's Cincinnati. But I think that's the way that NYC plays. It's going to be a little lower scoring than what the odds suggest here. And then the other one, I guess it's not like one of these matches is going to have a ton of goals. Maybe I'm wrong, but. So Toronto at home, all 5 of their wins this season have been at home. You look at their last couple home matches. I mean, they got a bunch of wins. 2-1 win against Montreal. 2-1 win against Atlanta. 4-0 against Montreal. 3-2 against Chicago. So they've had kind of a revival. They had a bad start to the season. They threw back. Westberg into net, benched Alex Bono, and then for Columbus here, just lower scoring team in general. With Columbus, 17 goals allowed in 18 matches. In their away matches, they have 1 win and 5 draws from 8 matches. So you got 5 draws and 8 away matches. So you got that. But that's kind of the breakdown here. Again, if you only play MLS and you don't watch these shows, I'll run through what we got in our cheat sheet here. RotoWire.com/soccer free 10-day trial. You got the lineups. We got projected lineups right here. As soon as we get those in, as soon as they're released, these are going to turn green with the lineups, with the formations. You get all that if you want. There'll also be a link to our formation page if you're a better visualizer instead of looking at the positions here, because we have you see NYC 4-2-3-1, two defensive midfielders. You got all that. If you like to visualize it, once the lineups are released by Opta, there will be a link right on the bottom of this, and you'll be able to click on the formation page. As you can see, MLS has a ton of injuries, more so than every other league, just because they release full-on injury reports, and managers don't really care about any of that. They're just like, yeah, this guy's questionable, this guy's questionable, this guy's questionable, this guy's questionable. And you could see with Columbus right there, that's kind of the situation. It's like, do I really want to give an exact update of how this guy's feeling with his injuries? No, that's not how MLS does it. So you got that. As you can see, Insigne, Lorenzo coming over. Toronto, his first game, I think, July 9th. So he's going to miss the next couple games for Toronto. But then we get the odds. We got the goal scoring odds. We got Castellanos with NYC, the biggest favorite on the slate. He's got the best odds to score. So you got that right there. And going down, the free kicks. I mean, this you can see right here sums up all of the free kick numbers and player stats. You can sort these. Now they go by 90, so you can sort players' floors by 90. Usually my favorite thing to do, just sort by floors. If you're kind of, going against 1-1 in cash games kind of thing, you're like, okay, this guy actually has a better floor by 1 point per 90, and maybe you'll go that route kind of thing. Or even you look at shots on goal, and then, maybe that will be like your play for a tournament or something. And then recently just added touches in the box. So under the team conceded stats, this is new. Corners allowed, corners conceded per 90 minutes, and then touches in the box per 90 minutes. So as you can see from these numbers, Toronto gives up a ton of touches in the box, and they give up the most corners of these four teams. Again, but Toronto has been playing better lately, so that's I guess where you're coming at from here. And then NYC, you can see pretty solid, under 20 touches in the box per match. So just another wrinkle we have added to the stats. And if you see something that we're missing, maybe we'll get that in there. I tried to. We're kind of limited here on the bottom of how many stats we can actually get in here, because if we want to add 5 more, then it's just kind of confusing, and all these colors are kind of blended in. So we're trying to stick with the main stats that matter, especially for DraftKings. So that's kind of what you're looking at. Corners. That's why I threw corners in there. You got crosses, you got your shots, you got all that good stuff. And okay, so we'll look at the slate a little bit. This is just more of just wanting to put something out there for you. So I'm not I wouldn't call myself a full-on MLS expert, but I've been playing a couple of slates here. So the big thing with this slate is that it's completely different than what we've seen in a lot of Premier League stuff. Like you look at the defenders, you got the NYC guys are up there. The fullbacks, Gloucester, Tavon Gray, Amundsen. Those guys are the most expensive because they're fullbacks, and NYC are the biggest favorite. But that doesn't really mean anything. Do you want to pay up for those guys who don't really have a huge floor, and maybe they're going to get a couple crosses, that kind of a thing? Just not worth it, really, is kind of what it comes down to. You could look here. The Gloucester has the best floor, not even above 8 points. Do you want to pay for him 5,800? Probably not. It's just not. That's kind of the difference when, at least for this slate, I guess you could say. So for this one, I think you're going to want to spend your money elsewhere. So I guess I don't really want to start with defender, even though I just mentioned it. But the most expensive guy here, Castellanos, Zelarayan, there's a chance he returns, but I doubt he's going to be He's going to be starting from his thigh injury. He's missed the last month or so, I believe. So he's not going to be back for the Crew. So we're going to get Castellanos. NYC favored. Are you going to want to pay for him? My first build, I don't want to pay for him. You got NYC away from home, Cincinnati, 2 clean sheets in the last 3 home matches. Castellanos, his floor is okay, but it's not something that jumps off the page. Maybe he'll hit a floor of 10 points, but you kind of need that goal from him at 9,600. I'm not sure that's the route I want to go. Again, we look back at this page, Castellanos, he has a decent floor. It's close to 10 points there, but I think you can get better options for cheaper. I mean, you can see Pozuelo there. He's not forward eligible, so I guess that's the main question there. But even then, I still like I still like Teles Magno here. Like his floor lately hasn't been that much different than Castellanos, and I feel like you're going to get some leverage there because Castellanos will probably be more popular than Magno, just because you're going to compare. You're going to look at their numbers, fantasy points per game. You're going to look at the 3 more points for Castellanos. You're going to look at his goal odds. You're going to look at that, but Magno actually has a better floor per 90. Again, looking at this cheat sheet here, it's not much, but he's still cheaper, and maybe Castellanos is more likely to score. I still think Magno is a guy who can hit the back of the net. It's not like he's not playing forward. He has a few goals this season. So in that route, like that's just more of a leverage. If you want an NYC forward. On the other side of that, you're going to be, some of this is going to be depending on your goalkeeper. Like, do you want to play Celentano of FCC at goalkeeper? Because in that case, you probably won't be using Castellanos. You probably won't be using Magno. You may be looking at the Cincinnati guys like Vasquez, Brenner. I probably prefer Brenner just because he's 1,100 cheaper than Vasquez. For the most part, Vasquez has been better. He's been more likely to score. His numbers are better. But I mean, still, you got 8 shots last 4 matches for Brenner. Even then, he's coming off the bench for 2 of those. So Brenner in the starting 11 usually means good things. We'll see. There's a chance that Barrial's in there. Again, this is a short week, so there's going to be some rotation. We'll see how things look like. So Barrial, he's been getting minutes because Acosta's been out. Barrial, 6,700 midfielder. So that'll change some things. I think Acosta's going to be in there. Is kind of what I am going with. He's gone off the bench the last 2, and he had COVID. What was this? It's now 2 weeks ago that he had COVID, so I think he's fine. He played 12 minutes 11 days ago, and then last Friday he played 35 minutes. So I think he's going to be good to go, and I'd prefer him, even though NYC are favored. I just think that you're just going to get leverage, and I think the Cincinnati guys are going to be less popular because they are underdogs, the biggest underdog on the slate, but I don't think there's that much of a difference with Acosta, assuming he starts, than the Moraleses, than the Castellanos. I could be off. In this thinking. Again, I'm not a big MLS expert, but just from looking at all these numbers and from my general knowledge of MLS, it's kind of what I think here. And it's not like NYC are massive favorites. The 45% isn't huge. Their implied goal total is only 0.34 more than Cincinnati's right now. So it's not that big. And I think the NYC guys are just going to be really popular. So why not? Why don't we just go with other guys who are maybe cheaper or maybe even in the same range who won't be as popular? So even in cash games, you're still going to get the leverage. I think that will be enough, especially in tournaments. You're going to get Cincinnati guys probably won't be that popular, so I think that'll be an interesting route. Otherwise, at forward, there are some cheap guys here. Like you can do Miguel Baird here at Columbus, 3,900. At Toronto, not my preferred route, but looking at the goal odds here, again, second best odds to score on the slate. This is the Chris Wood spot here, 3,900. Sure, he's plus 175, so it's not something that jumps off the page, but if people spend on the NYC guys, if they spend on Acosta, if they spend on Pozuelo, they're going to want one of these cheap forward options, and that's going to be Barry. That's going to be maybe Kerr if he starts 6,100. He's in there. Jaden Nelson 5,100. I mean, we'll see what the rotation looks like. Akinola 5,600. So you got those guys. Midfield, I mentioned Pozuelo. I mentioned Acosta. I like those guys. I'm sticking with, the home midfielders. You could obviously go with Morales. He's always good for his numbers. I think he is the best floor in the slate. I guess Costa technically has the best floor, as you see here, but it's pretty close. Even then, Morales averages more crosses. It just looks like, Costa, more chances created per 90 minutes, that kind of thing. So not much of a difference, but again, Morales will be more popular. So it really depends on, some of this depends on what you're going with at your goalkeeper. Like if you want to go with the NYC route, obviously Morales over Acosta, that kind of thing. But no matter, I think Pozuelo is a good route here. Maybe he's not exclusive rolling set pieces, but I like that he's home and he's getting 90 minutes. I know it's a short week, but I think just his numbers always get there. And he's like the cheapest of all these guys here. Not to mention Toronto have been scoring goals at home. So, I mean, you got him 8,500. He's cheaper than pretty much all these other top midfielders here. So I mentioned Barreal for Cincinnati, 6,700. Pedro Santos is interesting. Again, he's been playing fullback, as you can see here in the projected 11s. Pedro Santos has been playing left back, but he was dealing with a minor hamstring tweak, which led to I think he went off in the 24th minute. I guess that was a month ago. And then 4 days ago, he started and only went 61 minutes. So the worry with Santos, I mean, sure, it looks great on paper. He's taking set pieces, midfielder, fullback. You also get some extra crosses in there, 6,600. I'm not sure he's ready to go full 90 yet, so keep that one in mind. Keep that in mind. Luca Petrasso is another guy here. Subbed off early last match, but probably the guy that's going to be splitting set pieces with Pozuelo. So he's another option in there if you're not if you want to go a little further down than Santos. So you got those guys in there. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at for midfielders. Another guy that stood out to me, Igbekemi for Columbus, as we look down at the free kick tracker. So since Zela Ryan has been out, we've had a mix of Igbekemi, Aiden Morris, and Pedro Santos taking set pieces. There's a slight chance that Pedro Santos doesn't start. We could see Will Sands. I think he's like a 21-year-old at left back for Columbus, just because of, we'll see how Santos's hamstring is. So, but if you're looking there, even no matter who starts, it looks like whether it's Morris, whether it's Santos, or it's whoever, as long as Zayla Ryan is out, Igbekemi has been on at least a split roll set pieces. So that's a pretty good consideration right there. So if you're not spending on three midfielders, you can get a cheap midfielder here. Or even, 4,400 in the utility, you could use him. You're getting split set pieces. You're getting a guy who played, I'm pretty sure he played in the front three before 3-3 last match. Yeah, he played as a left winger. So you got that in there. Further down in midfielders, Kosi Thompson is a fullback listed at 3,600. The main problem with DraftKings here in the slate is really that you have all these fullbacks listed as midfielders, which is one of the reasons why we have not a great set of defenders to look at. I mentioned the NYC guys, and it just kind of depends on what else you're spending on with everything else here. Like the first build I came up with, I got 3,100 extra because I just plugged in. I went with Celentano as my goalkeeper, and again, really, you just go with maybe if there's a fullback with your goalkeeper, go with that. Center back, why not? Like it just depends on what your goalkeeper route is. I just think that Celentano, cheapest one, and I think the odds look like that, but I don't think they should be that extreme. It's not like even then. It's not like the clean sheet percentage is that much different to where you want to spend 5,300 on Sean Johnson away from home, even with Eli Room. Do you want to spend 49 with him away from home as an underdog? Probably not. I think Westberg will probably be the most popular goalkeeper, just because home, Columbus, weaker offense than NYC FC. So in that route, you're looking at, if you want to go with that, fortunately, you can't use Petrasso. You can't use Thompson because those guys are midfielders. So you'd be looking at, assuming with Vinga, 2,700 and Salcedo, 2,600 that starts. So it's like, okay, if you want the Toronto goalkeeper, if you want Westberg, do you want the Toronto center backs? This is MLS life for you. But for fullback wise, we still got Marrera. We got Gaddis has started the last few for Cincinnati. John Nelson's in there, and Cincinnati has been going with like a 3-4-2-1 kind of a thing. So those guys are playing as wing backs. I'm not sure how much that matters because it's not like their numbers are that extreme to where you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I need to spend on these guys. Also, we'll see if Gaddis starts again. Yeah, he started back to back here after pretty much being on the bench. Elvis Powell was the regular starter in the season. He's had an illness and then was actually benched. So we'll see if Powell is in there. Let me just double check. Powell's 5,100, so he's actually a lot more expensive than Gaddis is in there. So you got all these guys. Really, if you don't want the fullbacks, if they don't make sense with the rest of your build, or if you don't have the money, even just go with center backs and hope for the clean sheet with your goalie, that kind of a thing. So I think that's all we got here. 22 minutes on MLS. Hopefully this helps. All right, I'm done with this hat. So thank you, DraftKings, for the t-shirt and hat. It's been, maybe they'll pop up on future podcasts, but hey, been talking Wednesdays slate at MLS. I don't know the next time I'll be on. We got July 4th coming up, so I'm not going to be doing podcasts. Sorry. Unfortunately, there will not be any showdown podcasts for you. We'll be in here and there. You can check us out in the Discord. I'll still be, supplying some content in there. We still have some people playing MLS contests, so we'll be in there chatting it up. But we got, right now, it's June 29th. We have just over a month until the Premier League hits. So make sure you're sticking, you're checking out the site. We always got the cheat sheets up, but we got 2 more groups out for our World Cup betting articles. And we got the Liga MX betting article from our Liga MX writer. He knows a lot more about Liga MX than I do or anyone else in our staff. So check that out. He knows a lot of stuff. I had some futures. I had a future article up there as well if you want to check that out. So right now we're just doing a bunch of World Cup stuff, but pretty much after July 4th that week, we're going to start pumping out FPL rankings. We're going to start coming out with some more content, getting ready for the season. We'll have, obviously we're going to have, the plan is to have our guys, Ryan Belangi and Jordan Cooper, start from the beginning here. With these DFS shows. So we're going to be doing that again. I think it's August 6th, the first day for the Premier League. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, we're going to the goal is to, trying to get content, pretty continuous. Over the last month, we've had World Cup stuff, but we're also going to start, ever since Andrew Laird left, we haven't really had so rare stuff, but we've had some guys dabbling in it. We're looking at some new writers, that kind of a thing. And we're going to get some so rare content out on the site for you. Maybe not a show. I'm not 100% comfortable talking about so rare yet personally, but we're gonna, needless to say, we're gonna have content coming out. And again, as you can see, for the people that play so rare or just in general, we got projected 11s. We got those out for Liga MX, and as usual, I assume hopefully we got the projected 11s for all of these MLS games. This goes up to the July 4th Of course, the July 4th period, the MLS has decided to have 4 games on July 4th because they got to dominate the holiday. That's what MLS does. They got to dominate July 4th because what else is besides MLB. All right, but thanks for watching this. Maybe I'll get more than 5 views. I'll put a guess on it right now just based off of how big this DraftKings contest is. I'll be happy with more than 20 views. Let's just say that. Um, but thanks for watching this if you have all the way through. Again, rotowire.com. Hit me up on Twitter at RotoZdroik, and then again the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, let us know. We'll get you there. RotoWire.com. I want to say it's /chat. I could be wrong, or it's /Discord. I don't know. I haven't said it in a while. It's summer. I got the summer brain. But hey, we'll see you guys over the next month, and it's going to be a big season ahead. We got World Cup ahead of us. So thanks for watching, and we'll see everyone on the next show.